Grand evening, everyone. It is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. It is 1800 hours and 30 minutes in the evening, Central Standard Time. And we have some very serious and some concerning news here tonight that classifies as the highest of concern. Code Black level news we have here tonight. Let's get right into the news here. So, about 2 days ago, most of the internet went down again. It may have been Cloudflare related, as you could see there. There was a 500 internal server error there, had to do with Cloudflare. That was from the insider paper. Let's see here. This is initially a live stream recording that is posted to the YouTube channel in the live stream, the live section of my YouTube channel. Check if the audio is good here. One moment. Okay. So we're going to continue on with the news now. Before I get into that, we have some statistics I definitely want to bring up. Around 50% of all people who did, I suppose, these surveys have said that 4-year college degrees are no longer worth it. We also have other statistics coming in that there are now more layoffs that there has ever been since something called the Great Recession. I suppose that was near the maybe Great Depression or right before that. Not sure what time period the Great Recession was, though we now have more layoffs now than we have ever had since the Great Recession, and it is reaching Great Depression levels as the economy continues to collapse and the dollar loses its value more and more by the day. So, now getting into the most concerning news, this absolute tension and this escalation towards total war between China and Japan. So we have Japan signaling a powerful message as tensions with China rise over Taiwan. Tokyo says it will be the first to step in if Taiwan faces a military strike from China. Japan is moving medium-range missiles to Yonaguni Island, only 110 kilometers from Taiwan, as part of a major defense boost aimed at deterring Beijing. Japan has also begun sea trials of a new 100 kilowatt class laser weapon system aboard a military test vessel and is deploying a new electronic warfare air defense unit near Taiwan to counter growing Chinese pressure. This is the even further concerning thing. So we have Japan there preparing for war with China, and they are preparing to step in and help Taiwan. They'll be among the first, as I've said time and again. Japan and the U.S. will be among the first to. They'll be among the first to help Taiwan when it comes to when China invades Taiwan. So China is planning to invade Taiwan. That's still a thing, very much so. And it is now becoming more and more of a reality. It is now clear, I've seen and I've come to the conclusion that China will attack Japan when it comes to the invasion on Taiwan. So they'll attack Japan around the same time and try to get strategic positioning better and military superiority over Japan and stop them from assisting Taiwan. So they'll try to do that when they attempt to invade, when they do invade Taiwan, which I don't think is going to go well at all for China when they invade Taiwan. Pete Hegseth is saying that we're going to fully modernize the entire nuclear triad. Here's Pete Hegseth stating this related information.
All of this, of course, rests upon the power of our nation's nuclear deterrent, which is the foundation of our nation's defense. Nothing else matters if we don't get this right, and so we will. As President Trump has said, we will modernize our nation's nuclear triad. We will develop additional options to support deterrence and escalation management, and we will never allow this nation to be left vulnerable to nuclear blackmail, even in a world where we face two other major nuclear-armed powers. And we will test nuclear weapons and nuclear delivery systems on an equal basis as others.
So that's the Secretary of the Department of War saying the U.S. is going to fully modernize the entire nuclear triad, which is the entire nuclear arsenal. And the U.S. is going to even do nuclear testing as Russia and China is now. In other news, we have this here. X, this news source, this platform that I use so often for news sources, is now the number one source for news in every single EU country, every European country there is over there. Huge and amazing news to be celebrated. Nearly no censorship and truths are spreading all throughout the world and especially Europe now, as X is the number one news source in the EU. I'm sure it is one of the most uncensored news sources as well in the EU. That's awesome news to hear. So I put that there. That was straight from Elon Musk. So we have massive escalation with the Taiwan situation. China is going to soon invade Taiwan. It is very imminent. It is nearly as imminent as the situation with Venezuela. any moment, and I even heard rumors that it has begun earlier today. The Venezuela thing will be happening. I believe it's called Operation Southern Spear from the Secretary of the Department of War, Pete Hegseth. So that may be happening right now. President Trump has actually he said it himself, that it's also to get the Russians and the Chinese out of the region. Out of the region. They have some kind of influence when it comes to Venezuela. They have some, I believe part of their military is even positioned in Venezuela. We heard a while back that there's Russian missiles within Venezuela. Uh, that's all the more reason to go in there and do regime change and get those Russian missiles out of there, get all the Chinese and the Russian influence out of the region as well. It is a very strategic move keeping them away as World War III continues to escalate, and it is inches away from a total direct conflict between the US, Russia, China, Iran, especially NATO. It'll mainly be NATO against the CSTO, the East. That is setting up more and more and escalating towards that more and more by the day. Keep on preparing. And as for Venezuela, I also heard that President Putin of Russia is saying they stand shoulder to shoulder with Venezuela. So we have a very high chance that the Russians are going to get directly involved when it comes to defending Venezuela. And that is going to 100% put everything World War III more accurately into the full kinetic phase. Keep on preparing. These events are very imminent. Very, very imminent. They could happen at any time now. China could invade Taiwan at any time at this moment. They could attack Japan at any time at this moment. The US can invade Taiwan at any moment. Keep on preparing. I always recommend physical assets, gold, silver, land, ammunition, and freeze dried foods, and storable emergency foods that are more, I would say, organic, even. That's some of the best storable food is total organic food. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back soon, likely tomorrow, with further updates. Keep on preparing. I hope to see you all soon. Love, light, and blessings.